The Grain Trade Center in Vienna was the 17th urban bombing in 4 weeks, blamed on Nod terrorists.
The Security Commission remains in closed session tonight following Nod terrorist actions in Slovenia.
At least your mother tipped well.
Harsh, unforgiving wilderness.
If you feel it, peel it.
New Tiberium harvesting methods instituted by the Brotherhood of Nod increase profitability by 49%.
Pakistan is threatening my border!
That's it, Buster. No more military aid.
Nuke 'em. Get them before they get you. Another quality home game from Butler Brothers.
Nod Tiberium holdings now account for almost half of the world's known supply, giving the quasi-terrorist group incredible leverage in the London Gold Exchange. On the domestic side,
cover of Tiberium, ignored reporters at Hong Kong's Second World Tiberium Economic Impact Summit. Mobius is expected to refute charges from the scientific community that Tiberium might be dangerous.
بني مع اللون الأصفر.
이건 뭐를 거야?
연문당 튀김. 롯데햄 프라이드 치킨.
롯데햄 냉동식품.
As the GDI forces take off in another Nod assault, the free world holds its breath. This is Greg Burdett, WWN, somewhere in the Mediterranean.
Are you picking this up? Deactivate your defense matrix.
I'm not trying to force that we do Command & Conquer, because I know I'm one of the few people who played it. So,
no, I play Command & Conquer.
Which ones?
Which ones?
Yeah.
I think I played Red Alert 2.
Red Alert 2? Okay, that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just curious. Because I'm trying to understand what people have played. Because, for example, I've played the Tiberian series. In the first, second,
I tried playing the first Command & Conquer, and it's like, where's the skirmish mode? Where's the skirmish mode? I don't want to play the campaign. I want to play the skirmish mode.
Well,
there's none.
It's because it was a new game. That's all. Yeah. It wasn't that port. I love I love the first game, of the Tiberian series. I love the second game. I really truly love the second one, just for the fact that it really did a great job putting a lot of effort into advancing the technology of both factions. For example, but there's cyborgs, there are hovercraft, there's lasers, radar guns, all that stuff.
In the future.
Yeah, and then when the third game comes around, I'm not saying it's good. I mean, I enjoy watching videos people play tournaments of it, and it's a expansion pack. But so it really I got that sense that they just took the models from Generals, Command & Conquer Generals, and just slapped it onto the third game.
Generals was a good game. I played that one.
Yeah, but I get it. But I mean, when looking at the technology of the third of the series, there really is no advancement in my opinion. It's like, for example, where are the hovercraft? Where are the bipedal?
But there was a new playable faction, aliens.
And I think that's the reason why there are no legged. There are very few legged vehicles amongst the GDI factions. Like, that's the reason why. It's like, but yeah, and that faction is.
I guess I really didn't understand what they were going for there. I mean, there was nothing wrong with introducing another faction, but aliens.
But I get no. They were implying it with the second game because the Tiberian Sun, there was like alien aircraft. Like, they're talking about the Tacitus, which essentially shows blueprints of how to use Tiberium and use the technology even further, like beyond what humankind has already, expected it could do. So it's like, okay, I get it. Skrin, they had ideas of Skrin, mutant faction, stuff like that. It just here they took several steps backwards. And they attempted to cover it up. For example, GDI doesn't have any bipedal, quadpedal units anymore because of budget cuts. We're trying to do this. Okay, but then why does Nod no longer have subterranean units? That was really cool. I mean, and what bothered me was like, for example, instead it was a flame take in like from the first game, and like the third game was flame take, and like that. In the second game, it's called the freaking Devil's Tongue. That's awesome.
Yeah, I understand.
Awesome. That's an awesome name.
I get. I understand what you're trying to say now. You're saying that they should have advanced the technology even further.
Yeah, and or what he could have done was, I understand it would be very difficult because in the sense that they were still talking, experimenting, researching about the same stuff, railguns, lasers, and stuff like that. So I understand taking more steps further is very difficult. But I mean, you could take in units. For example, Firestorm addressed a lot of issues both sides had. I mean, for example, GDI finally got proper artillery units. I mean, they didn't have the same range as the Nod artillery, but it was great because it forced Nod teams to get out of their base instead of Turtle, because the Nod in that game is fantastic at defense and come out and attack the enemy, attack GDI factions. In my opinion, I'm not saying it's the best thing. I understand. I understand that. Give me a second. That the Juggernaut, that the GDI artillery, is somewhat controversial because some people don't think it's a good unit or it's an unnecessary unit and gave too much power to GDI. But at the same time, the Nod artillery, there's nothing close to that to address Nod's range superiority in the first game. And additionally, the Nod artillery in the first game was bugged so that the artillery never missed a shot. So that made it really, it made it very like, GDI needs something. So with the third game, it's like, I understand there's some things they brought back, but it's like, it seems like they ignored the conclusion of the Firestorm games. Like, we got the Tacitus, we got, we're able to save the world. We can reverse, or potentially reverse, the effects of Tiberium that is spreading throughout the world and causing us to, threaten humankind. So that would be cool. I mean, why not take some of the units, for example, just like this Disruptor? Am I talking too much?
No.
Okay. Okay. So, for example, there's like this unit called the Tiberian Sun, and which was also brought back, but under a different name, different effects. In the third game, called the Disruptor, which uses it's kind of like a sonic beam to shatter things. It vibrates things into pieces. And what would have been really cool if they brought it back in the third game is you can give this ability to deploy itself in a Tiberium field, in an enemy Tiberium field, and it'll slowly break down, degrade the Tiberium. And so in a sense that where GDI is becoming further anti-Tiberium, now it's in further embracing it. For example, cyborgs can heal in the Tiberium. The cybernetic technologies get going further, stuff like that. So I just didn't see that in the third game. In the fourth game, I'm not going to talk about because I haven't seen it, and all I've heard are really bad things. I saw the ending for it, and I'm like, no, they got Kane wrong. No. no, Kane's supposed to be evil. Why? What are you doing? And
Wait, Kane was good?
Yeah. He was like this. He turns. Yeah, he's supposed to be good, and they somehow turn GDI as evil, or something like that. It's like what?
Okay, I mean, I understand. Okay, look, like in the third game, they tried to make things more gray, which is fine.
I know. I didn't like it. I was like, no, because they blundered that. For example, they abandoned Kane. It's like, wait, hold up. I'm like, time out. It's like, wait, look, Kane lost the first 2 Tiberium Wars. He lost both. Flat out lost them.
Yeah.
He disappears after both Tiberium Wars and suddenly comes back. And you guys are going to follow him a third time, and then you're going to abandon him after, a Tiberium bomb blasts. Seriously? And mind you, this is what his intention was in Tiberium Sun, was he was going to drop a Tiberium missile that was going to permanently alter Earth into Tiberium, a Tiberium wasteland. So really, I forgot what the reason was, but people were abandoning Kane in the third game. It's like, wait, what? Now? No.
Well, I mean, okay. Are you saying they should have just still kept the basic good and evil thing, not introduce any gray areas?
I can understand exploring gray areas, but they did it wrong. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was wrong. It's like, no, Kane.
In the fourth one.
I understand that there's, they constantly brought this up. Like, there are, there's competition amongst, Kane's, the Kane's followers. For example, some get jealous. For example, in the first game, the guy Seth gets jealous of you, Commander, because you're getting all the success. You're getting Kane's attention. So he tries to sabotage your efforts by putting you on an impossible mission. Kane learns of this, executes Seth. Okay, that's cool. I get it. So Kane's battling the fact that he's got to make sure that no one's trying to take over or undermine his ultimate plan.
Yeah,
that's cool. I get that. And what was really cool was in the first 2 games. I don't know about the third game. I'm not going to say it because the story. I didn't like the story. But Joe Kukan, who does Kane, is fantastic. I mean,
he
competes. He beats James Earl Jones, Michael Biehn, and the other actors at their own game. The guys were professionals, and he just has so much fun. You could tell he's just having fun being evil. It's like, yes,
you can. Yeah, he was always my favorite part of Command and Conquer games. They were just. He's just so unbelievably cheesy and evil that you can't help but love him.
Yeah, but I think I'll say you love to hate him. It's like
yeah, you love to hate this guy,
and which is I think it's very difficult to find in many villains these days. It's like, oh, he's a bad guy. You don't get satisfaction that you beat him. I mean, for example, drop an ion cannon on him, blast on him. It's like,
I mean, to be fair, I think that is a bit overkill, but
no, but he survived. That's actually the true ending. That's what was really cool was.
Okay, how?
Well, because in a sense is that what they're implying is Kane is a different being from another planet, maybe either an alien or he's. I think that's what it is. He's some kind of a power.
He's not
entity.
entirely human.
Yes, exactly. And someone was saying was I was reading like one of the wikis was that it's implied that Kane's been around human beings from the very beginning. It's like, I haven't seen you since Mud Huts. And what was really cool is in the Red Alert series, the first game, Kane, no age, no difference in age, the same regular Kane, is one of the aides of Stalin. It's like, I am the future. He's like, at the end, after he assassinates Stalin, it's like, I am the future. And like that stuff like that. It's like, oh crap. And it was really cool.
I thought Red Alert take place in an alternate reality.
No, they're actually put together. That's the cool part. Is that
how?
It's complex.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, no. I'm not trying to say it's complex. I forgot how it was, but essentially. What happens with Red Alert, the stuff that occurs with Red Alert is that during the middle of the game, a cutscene occurs that the United Nations gets together and then they agree that they need to make a security force to sell this stuff, and that's essentially the beginning of the GDI, Global Defense Initiative.
Oh. I thought they took place in alternate realities. But no, apparently not.
They're close together. And with the alternate reality, in the sense that with Albert Einstein killing, essentially erasing Adolf Hitler from history, that caused an alternate reality.
Yeah, just because, it's like, oh, you killed Adolf Hitler? Joseph Stalin turns out to be the new Hitler. So, yeah, either way, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I love the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, butterfly effect.
And so what happens is that, for example, some of the stuff, like, for example, the Mammoth tank is, moved into from a Soviet weapon is used by the GDI. I forgot how it works, and there are some things, and I understand why it gets confusing, because why don't we see the chronosphere again by either GDI or Nod? Because especially with Nod, because Nod would probably really dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, I gotta say, my favorite part about Command and Conquer are two things. One, the cutscenes, which are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
They're just so cheesy. That's just great. And two, the fact that in Red Alert, the Russians have units that ride war bears.
Ride war bears? Is this from the third game?
It doesn't matter what game it's from. That's just beautiful. They ride bears in the battle with going up against tanks.
Yes.
It's the Golden Compass.
It's the Golden Compass without all the Christian stuff.
Yeah. Probably my favorite moment of the game is just the idea of you slowly gain the confidence of other commanders, and eventually you get all these new weapons. I mean, each one is you earned the weapons. Yeah. For example, the missile launchers, the ion cannon, the Mammoth tank. You earned that. So when you get that, it's you appreciate it.
No,
I mean,
I will. Okay, sorry.
That's fine. That's really essentially that's it. That's what bothered me with the third Tiberian game, is that the ion, you're spoiled with the ion cannon early on in the games. The first mission, you get to see it strike. It's really? Why? You didn't earn it. You just held off a skirmish. You just held Nod Rising, and you don't want to spoil the ion cannon. It's no. And then they bring back the old Mammoth tanks. No. And I realized no. And then what bothered me was the third game is they ignored the realizations from the second games. For example, if you get a powerful unit, people are going to spam it. So that's why they made the Mammoth tank from that game and the Cyborg Commando only one unit only, because it's just meant to avoid spam or curb spam. Of course, you can't avoid the spam with Titans, disruptors, etc. But both those weapons are very powerful. Anyway.
If you want to blame anybody, blame EA. Now, I don't usually like blaming EA for stuff, but this is one point where it's blame EA.
But the thing is, though, is that it's not just EA. I mean, I think it's also just the people who embark on these projects don't understand the game. They don't appreciate. They don't play the games. Okay,
they should have at least gotten people who are familiar with the games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's for example, they should play the first two games. There are flaws with the games. For example,
they should have improved on those flaws,
and they did. That's what's heartbreaking about it. There are improvements on the games. For example, in the Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath, the controlling your units is much easier. It's much better.
Oh yeah.
Aircraft fights are better. There's a great air to ground engagement, and I can give you a couple channels because they're fantastic. That you get some really great games. But yeah, that's the best part. And the problem is that they took steps backwards with the technology. I mean, this would be really cool to see subterranean units, the bipedal units. Granted, they did that with Kane's Wrath, but it seems more of to appease fans instead of.
Yeah, but okay. I'm going to admit the fact that in Red Alert 3, they get a new faction, the Japanese. That is the best faction in those games, hands down. For one reason only. George Takei is their leader.
Yes. Oh my.
Oh my.
Takai.
George Takai is the emperor.
Yeah, but the third game I heard was not that good.
But yeah. I'm not saying it was good. It's just that George Takei. Oh yeah, and David Hasselhoff was the vice president of the United States.
Yeah, and you also have the guy from Tomorrow Never Dies villain, Ronan villain.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
The
James Bond movie. I know what you're talking about. But.
Yeah, if Bond is there, she's there. Bond is there.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Who is? Come on, link me to the Wikipedia page so I can find out who this guy is.
I'll show you the face. But I mean that I don't want to hate on the games. I don't want to say, "Oh, it's EA games." I never want to do that. But
yeah, I think that's just. I don't want to sound like some kind of like stupid. I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean there are some great advancements in the third game. I will give it that, but the story and the things going backwards, it really felt like it was just an effort to make the work easier. And it doesn't help that the fact is that the fourth game was terrible. Red Alert 3 seemed weak, and there has been no any effort at the moment to make a Red Alert 4 indicate something. And the Generals 2, or some people call it, was essentially canceled. It's really troublesome. I think for me, I'm not saying it's the command. The series is dead. I'm not going to say that because
Jonathan Pryce.
There you go. But I do hope that someone might buy it out from EA Games, or EA Games might get its stuff together. Because, for example, I mean, even though some people are calling it this, Battlefield 4, it was met huge success. I mean, if you get the right company, even under EA Games, even though I don't like the company, I mean, they do good stuff. They have
it's. I think the people need to realize it's not the games that's the problem with EA. It's all the bullshit they tack on into it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of complaints about Battlefield 4 with the fact it's just too much stuff. And I was talking to my brother about it and about the video. But these two guys were excellent helicopter players. One of them said that the attack helicopter is useless. And when you have the guy, one of the best helicopter players on the games, I mean, in Battlefield 3, he made some great videos. Say that, there's something very wrong. And you have to imagine what a regular player reacts to this when they see an attack helicopter. When he's saying 30 seconds up, you're in the air and it's over. Probably some of these other guys, it's probably the same amount or even less.
But okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just hope. Heck, I won't even be surprised. It'd be really cool if won't be surprised if there's a reboot. I can see it happening. I could see if they said, "Oh, the third game, it never happened." Chronosphere, cool. Okay, I don't care.
Maybe, but hey, well, we can take comfort that at least Command and Conquer fans aren't as I can't know the word. Stupid as like Mass Effect fans.
How's that? Because I'm not very familiar with the series. How's that?
Oh, God. It's a long story. Let me try and sum it up as short as I can. Basically, did you hear what happened with the third game, with the ending?
Oh yeah. I heard Betsuni got a lot of trouble for that one.
Yeah, but it's like, I understand where people were coming from. Like, yeah, I didn't like the ending either. But they were just acting so fucking stupid about it. Oh, God, they were acting so stupid.
Like how? Can you describe how? Because I'm not sure.
I mean, they were like... Okay, here's one example. They were doing this little thing, like change the Mass Effect 3 ending, and they actually donate the money to like a Child's Play. You know, that it's like a charities organization that like helps sick kids. Okay, that's fine. But as soon as BioWare released the extended cut, which practically pretty much fixed the ending, everybody was asking for their money back from the charity. Because it's like, the money's ending's fixed, give me my money back.
That's not even stupid. That's just nasty.
That's just nasty.
Those are the type of people that make me question if a nuclear weapon went off, if it would do more good than harm.
Well, I mean, also the worst thing they ever done. There was this writer for BioWare called Jennifer Helper, and back in 2005, 6, there was an interview with her saying like, "Oh, I really don't play video games." She's a writer, and people got onto her so bad just because she doesn't play video games. She happens to write for video games, and they kept calling her like the cancer that was killing BioWare because she was one of the main writers for like Dragon Age 2, which is another BioWare game, and they were threatening her and her kids with death.
That's just not right. That's not right.
Yeah, and they and basically she had to leave the company because of all the just terrible things.
That's not right. And look, that's why I don't want to say just EA Games stinks. I'm not trying to be part of that. I know EA Games is part of the reason.
Yeah.
And I also I was watching a video of the review of Tiberian Sun. Westwood was also responsible for the predicament because some of their failures. Also, the channel I linked you to is a channel of Kane's Wrath. This guy is a fantastic commentator, and also it just shows some of the best moments. It shows the highlights. It just shows the very best parts of Kane's Wrath. I mean, the vehicles, the strategy, and that's what some of the stuff you don't see in Tiberian Sun. It's like that's what bothers me. It's like they improved on the combat aspects, made it much better.
Then they just took it all away.
They took away the story. They took away. It just went backwards with the advancements. Like why?
Yeah.
And for example, for me, arguably for me is that reasons is that they can give that insectoid legged vehicles to Skrin. That's the only reason I could see it, and that wasn't right. I mean, come on, there should be subterranean units. That would be really cool. It would be cool. Heck, maybe you can give GDI some kind of defense, or you can upgrade a vehicle that can drop burrowing missiles, torpedoes that can track subterranean units. That'd be cool. I mean, what was great about the second game, Tiberian Sun, is that they realized how powerful subterranean units are. They just gave them not so much armor. And the weaponry, the APC didn't have any weaponry on it. And the Devil's Tongue was good against buildings, but it had to be in larger numbers.